All right, let's get started with Buffalo. Bring out their quarterbacks. Of course, everyone knows uh, Mr. Superman Josh Allen, quarterback number 2 last year. Got outdid just a little bit. So, and Mitch Trubisky's back. So, no changes at quarterback for Buffalo. Of course, bring out the running backs. So, James Cook is their running back, 7th running back overall last year. Ray Davis, rookie, 35. Did pretty good. 6 touchdowns, 600 yards from scrimmage. Did pretty good as a rookie. Of course, they brought back Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson had 4 touchdowns, 500 yards as well, the 3rd running back last year. You can see here blue means he was a free agent and they re signed him. Yellow means they're a free agent and they're in jeopardy of they're not re signed, so they could either move on or haven't re signed with another team. If they re sign with another team, then I pull them off this team. Darrington Evans was signed. He was from the Bears. Agreed to terms. He was a free agent. He spent some time in 2023 with the Bills in training camp, so they're familiar with him. Brought him in. You can see he finished 138th at running back, so not a huge deal. Let's bring out their wide receivers. And wide receiver, their top one last year was the 41st wide receiver in the league. So, because Shakir 800 yards, 4 touchdowns. Didn't really have all the touchdowns and all that, but Keenan Coleman, 63, was the 63rd, so that's their top ones. Amari Cooper is in yellow. They're not re signing him, apparently. He's floating out there, has not signed with another team. Of course, he had a terrible year last year for him. 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Expecting a lot more out of him. So he's out there pending. They did pick up Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer, 500 yards, 1 touchdowns. Comes in from the Chargers. 3-year, $36 million contract. That's $18 million guaranteed. Now he was brought in to possibly replace. Let me bring up the in red here. These are players they've lost. They've lost Matt Collins. Buffalo has. He was the 79th. So if they pick up Josh Palmer and he's the 77th, maybe that's a little gain there. And Chevaux was re-signed. He's a kick returner. So he's been in here around for a while. So he will be their kick returner. Brought him in. Pretty well done in a wide receiver position these days. And at tight end, they have everyone Kincaid, the dynamic duo, and Dawson Knox back. Of course, did a little disappointing year for Kincaid. Just 448 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was one of the top tight ends ranked going in, finished 28th. So, and here we have Quentin Morris is a free agent. Didn't do a whole bunch last year. So, he's a free agent there. Let's move over to Miami. See how Miami's got going here. So, let's bring out their quarterbacks, see what kind of movement they have. And, of course, Tua. Disappointing year for him last year. He finished the 24th quarterback. Of course, missed those games with that concussion. Always worried about that. So, but he's back. Tyler Huntley is a free agent. They're probably going to let him go because of signing Zach Wilson, who didn't score at all last year. But hey, he got a 6-year or $6 million guaranteed deal. Could grow to $10 million. It's a 1-year deal. So they're going to try him out. Great insurance policy if something did happen to Tua. So he could probably end up being their number 2. They might keep Skylar Thompson here. So that's the quarterbacks. Let's go ahead and bring out the running backs here. You can see the big sign. Well, of course, they got. First of all, let's start with A-Chain here. Great year for him. 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns. Just great for him. You see, he was the 9th running back overall. Just great for them. And, of course, they brought in Madison. had 600-700 yards in scrimmage, 5 touchdowns for the Raiders last year. Kind of surprise output for him. And just they signed him, didn't really, no contract details there. Of course, they've got Jalen Wright here too. It's the 3rd string. So they're pretty well set up. They did lose. Let's bring up their losses. And of course, they've lost Raheem Mostert. He's over at the Raiders now. So, but you see here, 5, just kind of a disappointing from the year before. We had 21 touchdowns, only had 2 touchdowns. So they were able to part ways with Mostert because they brought in Madison to take over his role. And of course, they've got the hot rookie last year, Jalen Wright, in the fold. Looks like Jeff Wilson, a free agent, probably will not be re-signed. Yellow means they're a free agent. All right, bring out the wide receivers, and we've got a signing here. Ooh, got a lot of them. They haven't really lost anyone yet, although these in yellow probably won't be brought back. Of course, they got Tyreek Hill. He's doing pretty good there. And what about Nick Westbrook-Akini? 9 touchdowns last year. 500 yards from scrimmage. Did very good. Agreed to terms. 2 years, 6.5. That's cheap contract there. You know, and you're getting someone. Hey, let's check it out here. He was the 43rd receiver last year, and Waddle was the 49th. So I've got them slotted in how they scored last year. So, hey, that could be a big pickup for him, for Miami here. And we'll see how, he fits in. Of course, Waddle's there. And that means River Carcraft probably on his way out. 66 yards there, not really doing much. OBJ still listed here because that was they did bring back this Estridge. Didn't do much there, but he's their kick returner. Average 29 yards per kick. Signed him to a 1-year deal to bring him back. Going to be their kick returner. And, that's chosen. All right, let's bring out their tight ends. Any movements here in the tight end? Well, no, they have, Jonnu Smith, surprise there. Number 4 tight end. Look at that. And he didn't get started towards the end. He could be a sleeper tight end next year, although, hey, if you finish 4th in tight end, I don't think you're going to be a sleeper, but people might look over him. Julian Hill. He might be their number 2 tight end this year. Didn't score a lot, but right now we're sitting with Smythe here with only 53 yards. He's been around 7 years, but he is not under contract, so maybe they're ready to move on and pick this Hill. As good as Jonnu Smith did. I think they can pretty well settle with him. So that's a look at Miami. Hey, no real losses except Mostert, but picked up Madison for that to replace. So let's move on to the Jets. Let's go over to the Jets. Bring out their quarterbacks. We've got to pick up here. Of course, I have Aaron Rodgers until he signs, is theoretically still with the Jets. I have as a free agent. And Justin Fields. Justin Fields brought in 2-year, $40 million contract. Adam Schefter says, hey, $30 million guaranteed, but it's a 1-year prove-it deal. They can get out for only $10 million the next year if they don't want to bring him back. So they're going to bring him in to be their quarterback for this year and see how that goes. Tyrod Taylor is still under contract, so he'll be the backup to Justin Fields. Uncontested. Maybe they'll let Justin Fields run the whole way. Have it his whole year. No changes at running back. All right? You have number 17 running back last year. Brees Hall. Braylon Allen. Kind of exciting rookie last year. Did some noise early, but 3 touchdowns, 500 yards roughly from scrimmage. And they brought back kick returner. Jets re-signed Keenan Nwange to a 1-year, $2.5 million to be their kick returner. All right, so let's bring out their wide receivers for next year. Looking kind of thin here. Garrett Wilson will be their lead. He was 14th last year. 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Hey, you know what? Let's bring up their losses, and you can see their loss here is Devontae Adams, the 12th receiver. So, hey, we had the 12th receiver last year on their team and the 14th. So, with that, hey, Zach Wilson might be on or Garrett Wilson, I'm sorry, might be looking for more, but we have Justin Fields as the quarterback and more known for running more than being an expert passing. So let's bring out the tight ends next. So their number 22 tight end, Tyler Conklin, they're kind of receiving tight end, 4 touchdowns, 449 yards last year. He's available. And maybe they aren't going to re-sign him. They did bring in Stone Smart from the Chargers. Has spent 3 years season the tight end with the Chargers. Signed him to a 1-year contract. They have Ruckett. Maybe it's time for him to do something. So they have a couple. We'll see what they do at tight end. They're still waiting for them tight end. And here, you can see here, they lost Kenny Yeboah to the Detroit Lions. Detroit came in and signed them. So, hey, they still looking for what they're going to do at tight end here. Of course, they lost one there. The big news is Devontae Adams. And, well, of course, Justin Fields coming in too. All right, so Garrett Wilson here without having him. But with the quarterback change, we don't know how well that's going to go. So let's go on to New England. Let's look over there. Free agency. Of course, bring out the quarterbacks. And we see we have a new, first of all, Drake May. It's time to bring him back. He's under that contract, but it's going to be his 3rd year now. 2nd year. He did pretty good last year. Look at that. Got off to a slow start, of course, Brissett. But then he got in. 15 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty good here. Hey, keep an eye on that. 421 yards rushing from him last year. So, hey, that helps fill out the column. All right, so they did bring in Joshua Dobbs and signed him 2-year contract. Now, he's old. He's the wrong side of 30. But Brissett here replaces him. He moved on. So, bring up their losses. We can see him here. He went on to Arizona to be the backup to Kyler Murray. So, Joshua Dobbs brought in. Hey, they still got Joel Milton. He had a big game last year. He was just a rookie, 6'5", 240. So a little noise about him, but they have him in the works. But they'll probably run with Joshua Dobbs as the backup next year. Let's go ahead and bring out their running backs. So no, Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson are both back. 25th running back for Ramondre. Up and down year, kind of fade. Had big games at times. But when you're sharing as much with Antonio Gibson here, Gibson got 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. There wasn't a lot of yards to go around last year for them, so we'll see how that works. And they still have Hasty here, who is a free agent, but hey, no rush in bringing him back, is there? So let's look over their wide receivers, who we do have an addition here. First of all, Demario Douglas, 64th, led them. All right. Boutte, 66th. Mac Hollins comes in from Buffalo. All right. Signed him to a 2-year, $8.4. Now, he has Patriots. Josh McDaniels previously coached Hollins to his best career season back in 2022. He had 89 targets back then. So, hey, he maybe will fit right in here in New England. See, that's why they brought him in. They have, of course, no other free agents, so they're pretty well set. Not a lot of movement here for New England in the free agency market. Let's bring out their tight ends. I guess they did have some movement. They re-signed Austin Hooper, the tight end here. 3 touchdowns, 476 yards. Brought him back on a 1-year contract. He was a dependable receiver for him, quarterback last year, May. So they brought him in. Hey, he was the 23rd. So they're pretty set at tight end, Hunter Henry. So All right, that's a look at the AFC. Whoa. All right, that's the look at some of the teams in the AFC East. Thank you. If you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. Do it today. Be the first on your block. Hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up. Thank you. All right, it's that time. I need to fill my shorts. Get a short, make a short out of this. Warning, this is a rapid repeat. Fantasy AI with your AFC East signings. Joshua Dobbs gets signed for New England, backup quarterback. Stone Smart comes in at tight end for the Jets. Sanault, kick returner for Buffalo, gets signed. Darrington Evans comes over as a running back to Buffalo. Mac Hollins, New England, picks up a Buffalo wide receiver. Zach Wilson gets signed for Miami to be the backup for Tua. $6 million he got paid. Josh Palmer comes in for Buffalo, wide receiver from the Chargers. Going to help replace Mac Hollins there. Alexander Madison, running back, comes in. Got a lot of action last year. Comes in for Miami to back up. Raheem Mostert lost. Nick Westbrook-Akina comes in to be the wide receiver for Miami. Finished 43rd at wide receiver. And, of course, the big one, Justin Fields, comes in to be the quarterback for the Jets.